So I got a lot of bands down that you're in. I hope to be able to go through a few of them with you. Man. Little Freddie King was the first one on my list, but you were playing electric bass.
I play electric bass. What happened was I was with King James and the Special Men, which was a pretty big band in New Orleans for about 10 years. From 2010 to 2019 or 2020, they finally disbanded. But in 2019, what happened was I had started growing tired of playing it, and I kind of figured we missed our mark. We should have peaked years before that and went big with it, because we were. I mean, King James and the Special Men, we were pulling, every gig we were playing by the time by 2016, 2017, was totally packed. I mean, with an 8-piece band, we were walking.
I was going to ask you, how many guys? 8-piece band?
8 pieces, yeah. And by that time, I had, kind of peaked, and I was kind of ready to leave the band. I just couldn't do myself to do it because the camaraderie was so great in that band.
Sure.
And I got one night I got a call from Freddie, and he said, "Look, I need a bass player, and I really love you to come play bass with me." And I was like, "Look, Freddie, I'm playing in so many bands right now. I don't know if I could commit to you." I said, "But let me tell you, I got to play tonight. Let me call you tomorrow." So I played a gig that night with King James and the Special Men at the Saturn Bar. We had a regular residence at the Saturn Bar on St. Claude every Monday night. And so the next morning, Tuesday morning, I got a call from King James, Jimmy. And Jimmy was like, "Look, man, I'm going in a different direction. I'm going to lay off you, the guitar player, John Rodley, and the sax player, one of the sax players." He said, "I'm trying to take this band." And I was like, "Look, man," he said, "I love you and all, and blah, blah, blah." And we're still friends to this day, but he's trying to make it not so bad. And I was like, "Hey, man, perfect." Because
I was about to say, he did you a favor, didn't he? He helped you make your mind up, huh?
Yeah. And so little Freddie called me not even 10, 15 minutes later. "Look, man," I said, "Freddie, don't worry. I want to do it. I'm ready." And then he goes, "Okay, well, we got a gig in 2 days. Bayou Boogaloo."
Nice.
That was my first gig with Freddie, and I've been with Freddie ever since 2019.
Yeah. Through
the pandemic and now, Freddie was working during the pandemic, believe it or not, man. We were working, so.
Really?
Yeah. And he is my main gig. Freddie is my main. I cancel other gigs to play with Freddie.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, because his catalog is huge.
And it's not that it's burnt. It's not intelligentsia music for sure.
Yeah, well, I mean,
it's gut buckets, man.
Well, I was about to say, you get a feeling in your gut and roll with it.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
For everybody listening and watching, Little Freddie King was at the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival for 42 years. He was a member of the Louisiana Music Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
You can find him on Wikipedia, and the list goes on and on. So I'm sure you were really excited about doing that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I wanted to do it, but I was just so tied up, and I was so into doing everything, and I didn't want to impede Freddie because I really respected Freddie.
How did he find out about you?
Well, he knew my dad, he knew my pop already, and Wacko Wade, the drummer with Freddie, was also good friends with my pop, and so they knew me already, and they had the Special Men started out at BJ's, which I was telling you about in the Bywater.
Yeah.
Well, so did Freddie.
Oh, okay.
And Freddie is a regular at BJ's.
Okay.
So we crossed paths a lot. He would come in on gigs when we were playing, and we'd come in on gigs when he was playing.
Okay.
And so the name just got kicked around. Him and his bass player split. His bass player left, and on some pretty weird terms, but that wasn't nothing to do with me. But so he was looking for a bass player, and so somebody must have one of the fans of King James was also fans of Freddie. Said something about me. Call Robert, from Special Men.
And okay, so at that time at BJ's, he was not a solo artist. He had a band together. He was playing with.
Freddie had a band. Yeah.
Okay.
It's steady band. Yeah.
Well, that's cool, man.
And that's how. And then I got the call the night before I got laid off of Special Men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is, how regular is that now? It's kind of tapered off, or what?
Man, Freddie does like I just got my new schedule, and it was a little slow in August because it's that time of year, right?
Sure.
And he only did like 2 gigs last month, and then there's like 4 gigs this month coming up, and then October's got 8 gigs, man.
Wow.
You know, so October, November, this beginning of December is the fall season is really good for musicians.
Sure.
And the best time is like February, March, April, May. Mm-hmm. That's the best. But fall's not too bad. Summer kind of sucks. Winter kind of sucks.
Yeah, summer kind of sucks either way you look at it.
Right,
We can't move,
exactly,
you know? Yeah. How are you able to accommodate? That's a demanding schedule. I mean, relatively.
Yeah, you gotta go through. Like I do 7 steady gigs a weekend, from Friday through Monday, and I do all doubles mostly.
Okay.
And
where's this at?
I play 4 days a week from 2 to 6 at the gazebo on Decatur.
Okay.
3 of those days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I play with my dad's band.
Okay.
My father. And then on Mondays, I do my own trio.
And what's his band?
I sing a lot. Do a lot of, and I do everything from Satchmo to the Ramones.
Okay,
So,
that's cool.
Yeah.
The name of your father's band?
Franklin Avenue Underpass.
Okay, Franklin Avenue Underpass. I want to let them know, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, so
and then I play with the Cottonmouths, and the ones Cottonmouths.
that was
Kings.
next on my list. Yeah. You playing electric bass there too?
Upright bass.
You playing up? Oh, that's right, because that's a swing band.
Swing band.
That's right. Okay, so you're volleying back and forth between the two currently, steady.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I play with them every Friday night at the Spotted Cat on Frenchman.
Okay.
And those guys too. That's one of my main bands too. But I'll even take off from them to play with Freddie.
Sure.
But they're kind of next in line. And I've been with those guys. We were all ex-members of the Jazz Vipers, the New Orleans Jazz Vipers, which was kind of a hot swing band in the early 2000s.
That's what I find so cool, though. This is like a big change of pace from slow rolling blues.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
Is the diversity in your ability to perform, is that, I mean, I know music in general is a passion for you, but is that also a draw for you to be able to diversify?
Man, definitely. I was doing trad jazz is what, jazz paid for my rock habit. That's how I used to look at it. And, but
that sounds terrible. Your rock and roll habit.
But I kind of felt boxed in by a genre, it just, and so I wanted to spread out more, and that was one of the reasons I was with King James, and especially because the Special Men used to do that old New Orleans R&B rock and roll stuff.
Okay.
Fats Domino, Jesse Hill, Mother-in-Law, Arcado.
Arcado, yeah.
And so I already knew a lot of that stuff from my pop. Played with Huey Piano Smith, so I knew a lot of the New Orleans R&B, and I grew up, like most people in New Orleans, we grew up hearing Fats Domino.
Sure.
It's as common as hearing the Saints.
Yeah, you're right.
So, I just got real boxed in. I don't want to be boxed in on any genre. I just got claustrophobic, and I was like, no, man, I'm going to start branching out. I'm going to start doing my own thing, recording, and I have 7 records out of my CDs of my own stuff. That's all original.
Wow.
And it runs the gamut. I've done trad records of all original stuff. I've done swing and Latin.
Yeah.
And then heavy metal and funk and,
Where can they find that stuff?
Louisiana Music Factory.
Okay.
On Frenchman Street has it. And Spotify, if you want to go to Spotify, I got a lot of stuff on that.
I'll dig up some stuff and include the links in the article.
And, all of that.
So. Do you ever find yourself borrowing from one genre to experiment with in another genre?
Yeah, definitely. I kind of feel like everything is related to the blues.
Yeah.
Rock and roll.
Yeah.
Is related to the blues.
100%.
I mean, listen to Led Zeppelin. Listen to really great rock bands. They were all into the blues.
Yes.
Same thing in swing. They use blues progressions.
Okay.
Not all of them, but a lot of the songs use a blues progression. The Saints moves to a blues progression.
Okay.
So I think maybe the unifying genre that unifies all of them would be the blues.
Yeah.
Right?
So that's great. You're well rooted in that.
Rooted from gospel.
Yeah, that's right.
It came out of gospel.
That's right.
Yeah.
How has that been received by people that are, I guess, restricting themselves to just
jazz Nazis and
right? That's a good way to put it.
Metalheads that won't listen to anything.
Exactly, those people.
Man, the bottom line is you can always get them on. Music is music, and then they totally agree with you.
Yeah.
They may say, I don't listen to nothing but metal, and it's like, okay, you don't like the blues? Well, I like the blues. If you follow in with them a little bit, they start to agree with you, and they understand.
As I guess what I'm saying is being received by a populace or a crowd. Do you find that some things don't resonate as well with those people, the altruists, I guess you would say,
Especially the school guys.
Yeah.
The guys who go to school for, I'm a jazz guy and I went to school. Well, jazz was started by musicians who didn't go to school.
Yeah.
They couldn't even write music. They couldn't even read it.
Yeah, but he was born inside the grid, it sounds like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So sometimes you get those guys that say, oh, E and A, that's all you play in?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, man. Well, what do? You can't fight with people about it. If they don't get it, they will eventually get it.
Yeah, no, I mean,
eventually they get it.
That's not your job or your task or your passion for sure. So, I mean, it really becomes irrelevant. I was just kind of curious if some people scoff at the idea.
Some do. I get it sometimes. Oh, you play with that guy? Oh, man. Like, hey, bro, I'm working.
Politics everywhere, ain't there?
I work. I work. Like I said, October, I have 32 gigs in 31 days.
That's insane, dude. Seriously. That's crazy.
In May, I did 29 for Jazz Fest. No, in April, I did 29 gigs in 30 days. And I could have did 30, but I took one day off.
Yeah.
I just canceled one gig and had somebody sub for me because I was just so burned out.
I bet you could do a two-finger death punch right now with the calluses, huh?
Maybe,
yeah, probably so. I bet. That's serious.